Greetings to all musicians and music lovers, and welcome to Joe's Music Studio. Today we're talking guitars. Specifically, how does the same pickup sound in a solid body, a semi-hollow, and a hollow body guitar? Are they the same or are there differences? Let's get right to it. The amp I'm using is a tube amp. It's a Fender Blues Deluxe, and I took the speaker out and I put it in an extension cabinet. You can probably see it in the lower left corner of your screen. It's also the same size, and it's an Eminence. It was designed by Ted Weber. And in this cabinet now is a Weber Chicago ceramic. I love this speaker. It is spectacular. Great lows, creamy highs, and you can't overpower it. My neighbor likes to play German opera. Well, you might have Wagner, but I've got Weber, and Weber is louder. Ted Weber was great. He's been dead now, I guess, a dozen years. He died too young. He always would answer your questions. Here's a man who has the most successful company, makes some of the best guitar speakers in the world, and he always had time. We had a storm earlier with lightning, but it wasn't thunder. It was Ted Weber testing out a new 20-inch bass speaker. So let's talk about the guitars. I tried to keep as many common elements as possible so you can hear the differences. The first one and let me turn the standby off because I want you to hear how these sound unplugged. This is a solid-bodied Les Paul. Maple top, mahogany back and sides, and let me tell you about the common elements. All three of these guitars have a tusk nut, rosewood fingerboard, they have a roller bridge, a vibrato bar, and the most important thing is they have the same pickups, and we'll talk about that in a second. Let's hear how this sounds unplugged. Okay. Completely solid, no pockets, weighs a ton. This is the Sheraton. Love this guitar. This is a semi-hollow. Why is it semi? Well, it's hollow on the outside, as you can see, but there's a center block that runs from the neck all the way to the end. It's about 5 inches wide, and that's pickups are embedded in there so we don't get feedback. Feedback is a problem. I remember we had a cat named Miss Muffet. One day I was playing the electric guitar and I got terrible feedback. Well, she took off and hid in the basement. She hated it. Even years later, if I grabbed an acoustic guitar, no problem. She knew it. But if I grabbed an electric guitar, she was gone. So I could only play if she was in a bedroom with the door closed or she was outside. Okay, this is the semi-hollow. Listen to this. You'll hear a little bit more. Here it's louder. And the third is a completely hollow instrument. Same elements we talked about before. And this is a Joe Pass. Joe Pass was a fantastic jazz guitarist. Look him up on YouTube. Look up Ain't Misbehavin'. He plays by himself. It's fantastic. All right, here we go. You can hear it's much louder because it's completely hollow. Now the pickups. The pickups are called Probucker. They're humbucking pickups. A humbucking pickup was invented in the 50s, and it's two coils side by side out of phase, and it eliminates hum. Let me let you hear what hum is like. You can see what I'm talking about. This is a Gibson Les Paul, and it's got P90 pickups that were invented right after World War II. They're wonderful, but they love to hum. Listen when I turn the gain up, what happens. You hear that? And feedback. Feedback and hum. I hate hum. So you have to play this at lower volume or position yourself around the room in the right spot or you'll get terrible hum and feedback. Okay, more about the pickups. I can illustrate that best by showing an acoustic guitar. This is a Martin. Listen to the difference between something that's played right here by the neck, and you might want to use headphones. Some of these distinctions are kind of subtle, and the speakers are pretty small on your computer. Okay, back here, and by the bridge. Hear the difference? It's a much harder, more trebly sound. Well, the same thing is true with an electric guitar. This pickup picks up the mellow sound, this one the hard sound, but there's an added bonus. You can get both pickups, and it's a separate tone and volume control for each pickup. Think of it as like the color blue and the color green. You could make turquoise or teal or cobalt blue or emerald green. It's very versatile. But today we're going to keep everything set at the same volume so you can hear the differences. We'll get right to it. As soon as I find my picks. There they are. We'll keep it simple. Rita said don't play too many notes, and she's right. And I love what Pete Seeger said. It's not the notes you play, it's the notes you don't play. So we're going to keep it simple. This now is a solid-bodied instrument on the mellow setting. Pick up by the neck. Okay. The semi-hollow Sheraton. The similarities are greater than their differences. I think it's slightly more mellow. and the Joe Pass Emperor. These pickups are slightly higher output, which is interesting. I think it's holding true. The louder they sound unplugged, the more mellow they're sounding plugged in. Okay, now we'll try both pickups. These are both pickups together. Let's do a bluesy Trouble in Mind. How's that? Both pickups together on the Sheridan semi-hollow. I think it's a little cleaner sounding. There's a little bit of distortion in the Les Paul. And the reason for that is there's more sustain. What sustain is how long a note lasts. Jazz guitarists love hollow bodies because, believe it or not, well, unplugged, the note lasts longer on this guitar, but when they're plugged in, it's just the opposite. The decay is a lot quicker in a hollow body, so you'll never find a heavy metal player with a hollow body, because they like lots of runs together. So you're getting a little bit of a distortion because of the solid body itself. Okay, here we go with this one. This guitar's got great lows, really solid. And finally, we will try the bridge pickup. And that's sort of a country sound. And finger pickers. Let's talk about picks for a second. This is a flat pick, and it's used by most guitarists. And this is a thumb pick. Chet Atkins loved this, and he used his fingers. Now, I first saw Nashville session guitarists. They did a combination. They used a flat pick and their fingers. They're some of the best guitarists in the world. My wife Rita found this and thought I might be interested in it, and she's right. What this is a Black Mountain special thumb pick. It's the same as a flat pick, but only it's got a spring, and you put it on your thumb. And then I also use brass finger picks. What this allows me to do is play both thumb pick and a flat pick at the same time. I'll show you, we'll do that right now. A country type thing. Much more treble sound. Yeehaw! The Sheridan. I love this guitar. I asked Jonathan Casero, he works at Sweetwater's, and again, they're not my sponsors, I'm independent completely. I said, I can't afford a $5,000 Gibson. What do you recommend? And he recommended this guitar. I have several Gibsons. This is every bit as good. It's fantastic. It's not a good guitar for the money, it's just a great guitar, period. Epiphone Sheridan, I recommend it highly. And now the Joe Pass. Well, we can draw our own conclusions. There's definite differences. At low volumes, it's kind of hard to hear. When you get to a high volume situation, the differences are really magnified. You can really hear the difference. But I'm going to turn those off. Slip this strap over my shoulder, and I'll show you, use the middle pickups, and we'll set it about here. And I'll play something that you wouldn't normally hear on an electric guitar to show you how versatile these really are. Okay. I call it Etude number 4 for electric guitar. Well, in future shows, we're going to do what Lorraine Sexton suggested and highlight an old piece of sheet music and see what gems we can discover. Like, what does Louisville Lou sound like? Well, we're going to find out. That might be some fun. And we'll also do a show on alternate tunings, G, open E, A, and drop D tuning. Remember, music is sharing. I learn as much from you as you do from me. So please, leave comments and talk to each other. This has been wonderful. See you much later on. As I say, see you later, alligator. Thanks for watching.